All right, sophomores, I'm back for talking about pathos, which is our next type of rhetoric we're going to cover. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can see what I'm talking about here. We'll be good to go. All right, pathos. So we talked about how pathos, it comes from the Greek word meaning emotion. It's all about emotion, your feelings. It's an argument to focus on a feeling. Many times it's more negative feelings. Fear and sadness are often feelings that they like to focus on. Sometimes happiness or joy can also be used effectively. The goal is that you feel sympathetic towards the argument and want to agree with it because of that. Okay, so let's look at some more examples here. Here are some advertisements that use pathos. Okay, so we see a lot of sad examples here. We see someone smoking, it creates a gun pointed at his head. The smoke does, as an example of showing that smoking kills you. This one is using almost a sense of guilt or sadness about this kid who has cancer and that you should give to those who need it. Don't drink and drive. This is a BMW ad for cars. Don't drink and drive. Spare parts for humans are not as original as those for cars. Okay, showing a prosthetic leg. We see over here, this has like a whole article written with it, but it talks about animal cruelty from the Humane Society of the United States. We see a poor, cute boxer who looks sad in the eyes, and we see presumably a human holding up what looks like a fist or a club or something in the shadow, and the dog kind of looking on in fear. And it says in a violent family, everyone could be a victim. So we see a lot of sad or scary examples here of pathos in these advertisements. But we have a couple happy ones too. A camera built for every moment. Back when we were allowed to go to concerts and things, it was always, they were fun. I'm sure some of you have been at concerts too. And you want to capture those special times you're there. And so you would want a camera that can do that and a phone. And so you should buy the Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus because it has everything you need. And look how fun these people are having, okay? That uses a fun time for that. Coca-Cola, open a Coke, open happiness. So this tells you if you open a Coke, you're going to be happy. And if those words didn't tell you that, just look at this beautiful scene. We have a beautiful grassy field. The sun is just shining. The Coke is like freshly opened. You can see the little droplets of condensation on it, and you have a ladybug. Like this is like a perfect summer day out in an open field. You can just enjoy your Coke. Okay, so that uses happiness as well. Here are some other examples of pathos, some statements. Mom, if you love me, you'll buy me a snack. You're using guilt on your mom there. If you were a good kid, you would get your phone back. If I told you that 80% of people who smoke cigarettes die of cancer, would you still smoke? I'm so happy since I started Weight Watchers, I've lost 30 pounds. It's hard to be an only child and have to do all the chores on your own. Millions of Americans die every year due to lack of health care. Isn't it time we made a change? Guns being available to every citizen has led to the mass murders of innocent, good people in our country. So you see all these different examples of pathos, all statements that inquire or require some sort of emotional response from you. So on that first one, for example, Mom, if you love me, you'll buy me a snack. When a little kid says that to their mom, a lot of times their mom's like, oh, are you hungry? Well, yeah, let's go get something, right? Like the kid knows that if they say it in that way, that their parent is going to feel bad for them, and that's pathos. Okay, so I don't have as much to say about pathos as I do for ethos. Pathos is probably the one that everybody understands pretty clearly whenever I've taught this. It's anything that has to deal with emotion, anything. Now, the one thing that is a little nuanced with pathos is that it also includes nostalgia. I do not have a commercial example for nostalgia at this moment, but here are some examples of nostalgia just from our pop culture. Whenever you hear somebody say, oh, I remember, when I was a kid, or I remember in the good old days, and they bring up something, that's nostalgia. Star Wars coming out with movies that are very similar to the old movies, that's nostalgia. Or having Han Solo and Millennium Falcon in it, that's nostalgia. Stranger Things being based in the 80s, that's nostalgia. All right, any TV show or anything like that that brings us back to a time, an older time we remember and that we remember fondly, that is nostalgia. And so a lot of times pathos is also included in nostalgia, because nostalgia is you remember old times fondly, happily. So pathos uses nostalgia as well. So let's watch a few commercials and then you'll be free to work on the nostalgia, your nostalgia worksheet. Here we go.
This building built?
It's old, but it has big windows and lots of light.
I don't understand. Did I do something wrong? Are you breaking up with me?
Slow and steady.
Trans, the official sudden vantage spectacles.
It's Maddie.
There you go, Chevrolet. May not have been expecting that, but yeah. So that one really works up your emotions, right? We love, as a culture, we love pets and we love dogs, and to see this girl have this dog that was with her through her whole life, we're like, oh, that's awesome. And then it says a best friend for life's journey. You're like, yes, a dog, and they're like, no, Chevy. Boom. All right, so it's a little silly, right? But it's that plays on your emotions, right? You all were feeling something as we were going through that. All right, here's another one. This one is a little bit of nostalgia, I will say.
Hey, brother, there's an endless road to rediscover. Hey, brother, know the water's sweet, but blood is thicker. The sky comes falling down for you. There's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. What if I'm far from home? Oh, brother, I will hear you call. If the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do.
All right, so again, a good example of pathos, a little bit of nostalgia if you've had dealings with your older siblings, right? But we see there another example of how it plays on emotion. We're like, oh, that reminds me of, this time with my brother, or we see him stand up for him even though he has this kind of complicated relationship with him. So that's another example. And this last one is one that is not fun to watch, but we've seen a lot of these on TV, and it is pathos.
Pack of cigarettes, please.
It's not enough. What's a pack of smokes cost? Your teeth. Smoking can cause serious gum disease that makes you more likely to lose them.
See you again.
What are cigarettes costing you?
All right. So those are our examples of pathos. We see fear play into that with don't smoke because you are going to lose your teeth. There's other ones like that about your skin and your age and things like that. So it clearly plays into fear. Okay, don't smoke because you are literally killing yourself. You're damaging yourself. Okay. That is all I have for you on Pathos. So Pathos, again, is pretty straightforward. It's based on emotion. Anytime emotion is used, that is Pathos. So go ahead and work on your Pathos worksheets after this. If you have any questions, please email me, kylegeorge@u-46.org, and I'll see you guys next time for logos.